should be the Yuba Water Agency North Director, incumbent rice farmer Charlie Matthews, or former director as 5th District County Supervisor Randy Fletcher? You can meet and hear from both men running for this open Yuba Water Agency North Directorship October 19th at 9 a.m. We'll be live from Christmas Tree Park in Marysville with Yuba-Sutter.live's Yuba Water Agency North Candidates Connection. Watch. Questions? Send them to candidatequestions@yuba-sutter.live. This public service live stream is presented by Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties and supported by Edible Memories Bakery in Marysville. The Yuba Water Agency North Candidates Connection, Saturday, October 19th, 9 a.m., live from Christmas Tree Park in Marysville. Another special live stream from your local channel, Yuba-Sutter.live. And you'll also be able to watch the Marysville Joint Unified School District Areas 1 and 2 Candidates Connection live beginning at 10:30, also from Christmas Tree Park. And at noon, the Marysville Joint Unified School District Areas 3 and 4 Candidates Connection. All of these presented by Nickell Tax and Financial Services. That's Nickell tax.com.
In the heart of the valley, we rise so bright, where the news flows freely in the morning light. Yuba-Sutter.live, where truth comes alive. Every Tuesday's a journey, it's where we thrive. Watch it unfold. Yuba-Sutter.live, in the heart of our home. Be informed, be wise. Yuba-Sutter.live, we capture it all. Policy debates, hear the people's call. With Yuba-Sutter.live, you'll never miss a beat. Special reports hit hard, shining a spotlight. Yuba-Sutter.live.
Now, our replay of the Marysville City Council Candidates Connection from Saturday, October 5th. Live from the corner of 3rd and D Streets in what we fondly call Christmas Tree Park. Why is that? Well, it's because there's a Christmas tree here. I think this is a redwood. Stuart, do you know what tree this is? Okay, so there's a microphone in the middle of the table, and the party that's going to talk is going to need to pick that up and go from there. So, this particular program is brought to you as a public service by people like you who have funded our activities here over the years. And what we're going to do is get right into it in just a moment. Get rid of the music there, and we'll get right into it with Stuart Gilchrist and Marjorie Rollins and our fine newcomer to politics locally, who is Cody Walker. And they all have a connection to the city of Marysville, and we'll introduce them here in just a second. This program is brought to you by Comfort Keepers and supported by Edible Memories Bakery in Marysville.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders, or even yourself, has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
Thinking good vibes one day at a time. At Edible Memories, life is sublime. In every bite, you'll find a dream. Join us now, let your heart beam. Step inside, sharing the fun. Edible Memories Bakery, where happiness runs.
Edible Memories Bakery, 321 3rd Street, Marysville. EdibleMemoriesBakery.com. Live from the corner of 3rd and D Streets in what we fondly call Christmas Tree Park. Why is that? Well, it's because there's a Christmas tree here. I think this is a redwood. Stuart, do you know what tree this is? Okay, so there's a microphone in the middle of the table, and the party that's going to talk is going to need to pick that up and go from there. So, this particular program is brought to you as a public service by people like you who have funded our activities here over the years. And what we're going to do is get right into it in just a moment. Get rid of the music there, and we'll get right into it with Stuart Gilchrist and Marjorie Rollins and our fine newcomer to politics locally, who is Cody Walker. And they all have a connection to the city of Marysville, and we'll introduce them here in just a second. Again, I'm Ted Langdell, Yuba-Sutter.live, and what we're going to do this morning is we're going to start with a 90-second opening statement from each of the candidates. And we will start with Stuart Gilchrist, who is right there.
Good morning. Does this microphone work? Is it too far, too
You're
close?
good.
Did I pay attention and follow instruction? Great. Are we ready?
Go.
Hi, I'm Stuart Gilchrist. I'm your current Marysville City Council person. I was born and raised in Marysville. I have a passion for it. When I was 18, I was able to move away and go to college and start a career. And 40 years later, I came back to the city of Marysville and decided to help improve it. And so that's what we've been able to accomplish on the council. And so by bringing forward a desperately needed general plan update, which the city of Marysville has not had since 1985. And so I discovered this by asking questions, by going to council meetings. And that's pretty much my life for the past 5 years that I've been in Marysville, is to assist as much as possible to improve the quality and the conditions of my hometown, which I love so much. I was very fortunate that my parents were school administrators. My father was the superintendent of schools who started Marysville Joint Unified School District and funded a lot of new buildings like Olivehurst High School, etc. So I kind of understand the importance of a good education in order to improve our economic prosperity as well. And is my 90 seconds up? Because I could talk forever. I'd love to get to know more about these young ladies next to me. All right.
Well, why don't we do that? Let's move along to
number B.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, we were all assigned numbers. We all picked letters. Sorry, you can tell I went to school. We were all assigned letters. We pulled them out of a hat. I got A. Margie got
B.
And guess what Cody got?
C for Cody.
Isn't that great? Okay.
Well, hi, I'm Marjorie Rollins, and also known as Margie Rollins. I'm a 50-year resident of the city of Marysville. I currently serve on the Marysville Planning Commission. I'm currently the chair. I'm retired. I have time to dedicate to this position. I managed a very large $1 million plus complex budget, and I can assist the city with managing their budget. While working at Sutter County Superintendent of Schools, I had oversight of 70 plus school districts to ensure that they were following the state and federal guidelines. I've been married to my husband Bill for 47 years. I have 2 children and 2 amazing grandchildren. And I currently love this city, have wanted to see it prosper for years. I think the current city council has done a wonderful job at that, and I look forward to hopefully being on the council. Thank you.
All right. And that is Margie Rollins. She is the one of 3 people who are seeking 3 seats on the Marysville City Council. And
2 seats, Ted.
2 seats, I'm sorry. this is what happens when you try to do multiple things all at the same time.
You are forgiven.
Multitasking. Okay, so we are going to pan the camera over here and put up the right title here for Cody Walker. And you've got, let me hit the reset button. Go ahead, take 90 seconds and tell us about you and why you're running.
Sure. Thank you, Ted, and good morning, Marysville, Yuba-Sutter area. My name is Cody Walker, and I am a lifelong resident. Moved here when shouldn't say lifelong. I moved here when I was 6 years old. Attended Marysville schools, Notre Dame School and Marysville High School and Yuba College. I graduated the Yuba College Police Academy and was immediately hired at Yuba City Police Department, where I was a reserve police officer for 8 years. Simultaneously, I worked at Yuba County Office of Education, so that was my full-time job, and I was a reserve police officer part-time for 8 years. Worked at Sutter County Health and Human Services as a welfare fraud investigator for a short period of time. And then after that, I became a contractor for the Department of Defense, where I currently manage a team of background investigators who conduct backgrounds for security clearances, such as secret and top secret clearances. The reason I chose to run for Marysville City Council is I think I have a passion for Marysville. I've grown up here and I want to see it prosper, as we all do. And I just, there's so many fond memories here when I was growing up, from paddle boating in Ellis Lake to eating delightful treats at the Candy Box and watching movies at the State Theater. And we just need to revitalize Marysville. I think we're kind of in a slump right now. And I think the current council has done a great job at trying to revitalize Marysville. But I think we need a new, fresh perspective on the council. And I intend to bring that, and I aim to work with law enforcement to clean up our streets and to transition the homeless into, temporary housing and maybe even into permanent housing. I have a great working relationship right now with Chief Sachs and Chief Heckstrom, so I'm hoping to bring the public safety aspect to the table. Thank you.
So I think we've had a little bit more than for everybody, hopefully enough time. And we'll move along to our first question, which we will start with Cody. Why don't we start with Cody? What is the role of a city?
Of a city or a city council?
A city.
Role of a city, I believe, is to provide community. That's the reason why cities break out from counties, to just have a different sort of community. It's we're in a unique situation here where Marysville's surrounded by a levee ring, which makes our community, tend to be small. But I love that about Marysville. It feels homey to me. It feels comforting. And so I just think that, we can all work. I think a city is also working together and collaborating with one another and, trying to get things done and accomplished as a team. And I think just really the sense of community is what I believe a city is. It's just more than the county, more than being out in the rural area. You are established, and that's what I believe a city is.
Okay, very good. And we'll move along to, why don't we just keep going back the way we were going there?
Thank you. I believe a city is definitely community, and we need to bring safety to our community. We need to have the correct people in positions to enhance what we currently have in place. We need to have streets that are nice, a clean city, a budget that must be overlooked and managed very well to accommodate the needs of our city, such as our roads, the infrastructure that needs some type of repairs. I think the City Council currently has moved the momentum in that area, and I'd like to see that continued. Cities, we need to have services for all of our citizens, and I think we can improve on that. Thank you.
All right, and that is Margie Rollins, and we move along to current City Council members. Stuart Gilchrist, let's there we go.
Are we
that
good?
Looks like Stuart. We're good.
Is this a trick question? I'm just
No,
kidding.
this is not.
I love that you've you've established what is the role of a city versus what is the role of city council. So let's start with the role of a city. It depends on whether or not the city is a charter city, et cetera, et cetera. And for the sake of time, Marysville is a charter city. So the role of the charter city is to establish safety for its residents, to maintain and upgrade and develop roadways and pedestrian access within the city. It is to maintain the budget and the ongoing operations of the city. Did I say safety? Because safety is the key aspect. The most important role of the city is to maintain its police department, its fire department, and its public works department as well. And then community development is another aspect. It's very important. The role of the city is to actually develop community by improving business relationships within City Hall, so that businesses can come in and conduct business fairly. Also, the role of the city is to establish and maintain and update their ordinances so everyone learns to get along and work well with each other by following basic rules. And so that's the role of the city. Great question.
Okay, so let's move along to, we'll just kind of keep going back and forth here. That
Okay.
seems to be an efficient and effective way of doing it. And we'll ask Margie Rollins, what is the role of a city council member?
Number one, to be involved, to dedicate your time to that. And I am currently retired, so I can dedicate my time being a full-time city council member. Make sure that they oversee the budget and that we are in financially good shape. And we need to, there's a lot of things I can think of, but I think that's the most important aspect of it.
Okay, so we'll move along from Margie Rollins down to Cody Walker.
So I believe the role of the city council person is to collaborate with all of the departments working within the city and to be that oversight committee, if you will, on city happenings, and making sure everyone gets along and making sure that, like Margie said, the budget is, we've established a budget. We're not frivolously spending, making sure our roads are in good working order, making sure we have public safety, and just kind of being that oversight committee to those different departments within the city. And I believe that is the role of the city council person.
Okay, Cody Walker, and we'll move along. Yeah, why don't we can do that. So, Stuart.
Yes.
What is the biggest challenge that Marysville faces today, and how do you propose to address that?
So the biggest challenge in Marysville today and around in the Yuba-Sutter area is perception. The biggest challenge is perception. The fact that people feel uncomfortable coming into the city of Marysville during this current hotel fire crisis, which is understandable, but that is, the perception of the inability to get through the community in order to do business. That's our largest issue right now, as the other issues that have fallen onto Marysville in the past 40 years without a general plan update, without direction, without proper funding, has now been resolved with our general plan update, which, by the way, is in draft form. So it's completed, and it's waiting for the public, you, to give your input on the what is it called, the environmental impact of our general plan, which is a plan for Marysville until 2050. So there's a lot of things that we can do, but perception is the most important issue to handle. Letting people know we are open, we're doing amazing business, and it's a beautiful day. Hey, so come on in to town.
All right, and we move along to Margie Rollins, and the same question to you, Margie. What is the biggest challenge Marysville faces today, and how do you propose to address that?
Well, I think there's a couple things. currently, the hotel, as we all know, has been, an eyesore for our community, and it has imposed on our traffic. How do we fix it? As you all know, we got a judge ruled yesterday that potentially that they have the 20 days to have a plan, and I think once that's solved, we'll be moving forward in our city. Yes, we do have some problems with our roads, and Measure G must pass. I mean, I think that's something we can all get behind.
Okay, we'll talk about Measure G in a little bit. We'll also talk a little bit more about the hotel, and we're going to go from Margie Rollins to Cody Walker.
Am I answering the same question, Ted?
You are answering the same question,
Okay,
which is
just
what is the
making sure.
biggest challenge Marysville faces today, and how do you propose? That's not Cody Walker. That's me. Okay, and I'll tell you, you try to do too many things, and you end up mislabeling things. So, but we'll move along and let Cody answer this question here, which is, what is the biggest challenge Marysville faces today, and how do you propose to address that?
Sure, Ted. So obviously the hotel is the biggest issue right now in current day, and I'm not going to regurgitate what these two have said because we know the plan. We've all seen the article that came out from yesterday. So aside from the hotel, I think homelessness is one of our biggest issues. People don't want to come to town and do business here, and let alone the residents don't want to be shopping here because we're encountering homeless people on our streets, and we need to really find a way to transition those folks into temporary housing and then eventually into a more permanent, stable housing situation. So taking care of the hotel and getting the homeless off of the streets will hopefully entice, shoppers and residents to want to come and do business down on D Street, and also to get new businesses to want to develop and property owners to redevelop their buildings here. So I believe that the hotel and the homelessness issue is our biggest problem.
Okay, so what is the biggest challenge that the city of Marysville needs to address over the next 5 years? And what steps will you take, if elected, to get that to happen? And we'll go ahead and just work back up the pile here with our table, not pile. Okay, and Margie, go ahead and take it away.
The 5-year plan I always love to have a 5-year plan in my career. But currently, I think the 5-year plan would be that we need to move the city forward based on the general plan, and we need to continue the momentum that we currently have, and clean up our streets. Continue our public safety is key to this city. As far as the homelessness, I'd like to just tell this real short story. I had a distant cousin arrive at my home homeless at 73 years old. I mainstreamed him immediately to the Life Center building, immediately to Habitat, got a place at the men's shelter, and was placed 6 months later in Habitat. There is help in this city for the ones that want to be helped. Not all homeless want to be helped. They like their lifestyle. We need to be tough on it by following the law for the homeless in this town. It'd be nice if we had the funding that we could get an homeless liaison, but at this point I don't see it. I'd also like to make sure we have a master lighting plan that we can implement to light our city. That helps deter crime and homelessness on our sidewalks in the evenings. Thank you.
Okay, and Stuart.
All right.
Let's see.
So the council person has a 4-year window to accomplish anything. So 5 years. So to maintain the momentum, obviously. Ordinance updates. We are still in need of updating our ordinances. Most of them are very antiquated. Sidewalk repair, tree ordinances are things that I'm currently working on. completing the designs for our roadways and our parks. You need to have a design for your roadways and your parks before you can receive funding. And so we need to continue designing the additional roads. And when we say design roads, put in the traffic calming and the safety measures such as, pedestrian crosswalks, etc. And so the important elements of safe roadways, we need to continue with our roadway repair plan now that funding is available to do larger projects.
All right. Stuart Gilchrist, current city council member, owns a small business. He's going to have to duck out here before we get done with our project here, with our connection. But the two ladies who are seeking his seat and the other one that's open, being vacated by Dom Belza, will remain with us, and we'll ask them some other questions. So, and Stuart says he's okay with that.
Oh, yes.
All right.
And I've got 20 minutes, 15.
All right. So let's see. This is a very
Sorry, Ted,
challenging
do I get to answer the
experience
question?
for me. So go ahead.
Do I get to answer the question that they were posed?
Yes, you get to
Okay.
answer the question.
Perfect. So the 5-year plan I see for Marysville, obviously updating our roads. I'm out knocking and talking with neighbors currently, and a lot of their complaint is our roads, and a good job at getting some of our roads paved, but I believe that we could be doing better, and I think we need to get more roads paved. So that's part of my 5-year plan. The other part of my 5-year plan is I'd love to see more economic development in Marysville. I know we will discuss Measure G later. I am in support of it. However, I would love to see us be able to really develop our business association and get more businesses in here to where we can eventually supplement that income from Measure G and get Measure G off the ballot. So while I do support it this go around, and I understand that there's not a sunset date, I would just love to see us be able to supplement that income. So as part of, if I'm elected to city council, that is part of my plan is to implement new economic development here to supplement that.
All right. That's Cody Walker, one of 3 people seeking 2 seats on the Marysville City Council for the coming year that'll begin for council members in late December. So we're looking basically, how do you get underway in 2025? We talked about Measure G, which was implemented by voters in 2016 and had a sunset clause of 2026. The City Council brought this back to the ballot to extend this with no deadline, with no sunset, other than the voters could repeal it if they want. Do you support, Stuart, do you support Measure G?
Yes, I support the extension of Measure C, which was needed in order to keep the city of Marysville from going bankrupt. By having Measure C, which will now be Measure G, we will be able to continue improving our safety departments, which is fire and police. We will also continue to have an economic development director, which is important. Why is that important? We have opened 28 new businesses with new construction permits since I've been on the council. And these are complete build-outs, which provide local jobs, Hillburrs, etc. Many new businesses along our state roads. Over $400,000 have been brought into City Hall for permits, upgrades, since we have had this community development director. So you have got to have a little money in order to make money. And I know that's a business tool, but you've got to maintain services and you've got to generate an income. And the general fund is not enough to maintain all of these services. And so the sales tax is the way to benefit and to improve our general fund. Yes. Right. And also it's important to keep a city staff going so we can continue to write and administer grants.
And
have the reserve that we currently have. And currently our council requires a 30% reserve. That's a healthy community.
all right. Let's move along to Margie. Same question.
Do I support it? Yes, I do support it. We will be in financial straits, financial difficulty if it doesn't continue. I also feel that if I had been on the current council, I would have had it as a sunset date. Just I think that, our economy statewide is not healthy. And in 4 years from now, there was a potential that it could be. We could have always put it back on the ballot. It's also interesting to me that 8 out of the cities in California do not have 1% increase on their sales tax. And as you're aware, Yuba City has one place on their ballot, so if it passes, there will only be 7 cities in the state of California without the 1%. I think that, we need to realize that as a city. First of all, we need to protect our public safety as much as possible. A safe city will support the economic development. Public works is vital to maintain our city parks, and we must keep our parks and city clean.
All right.
Street improvements and projects will potentially completely be tabled.
If you don't have.
Yeah, if we don't have the funding if it doesn't pass the 1%. There'll be tough financial decisions if Measure G doesn't pass.
Marvelous. And we'll start down at this end of the table. And I'm trying to remember, have you answered that question yet?
I have not answered that question directly, no.
Okay.
So, to put this into perspective, Ted, and yes, I am supporting Measure G. However, to put this into perspective for you folks, Measure G provides 1/3 of the city's budget. And what I am telling people is if 1/3 of my budget was cut, my life would look significantly different. And so we need to pass Measure G in order to keep our city maintaining its current state. So I do believe that, it's something that hopefully we can gain some economic development and eventually repeal Measure G, but at this time I do support it.
Okay, very good. And I appreciate your brief answers, but I also appreciate the ones that have a little bit more detail, because part of why we're doing this is to enable people to understand a little bit more about what's happening in Marysville and our community and why things are the way they are, how they got that way, and to try to overcome some of the misinformation that seems to be out there. Let me ask a question that's related to that to all of you while we're talking about that. It was one of the ones I had planned on asking a little later. But if you look at social media over the last several years, it shows that a lot of people don't know what's happening in Marysville, or they don't know what a city can or can't do, or they blame the city for things that it can't control, or have some expectations that are unreasonable or unmeetable. So how can the city better communicate with its residents and businesses and the broader Yuba-Sutter area in order to provide accurate and timely information, correct misinformation, and keep things perhaps top of mind?
Absolutely, I will start this. I love this question. I am very much about getting young people involved, and you're right, social media is where things are headed. This younger generation communicates in only social media. They're not making phone calls, they are not really even texting. They are, getting on Instagram and DMing and on Facebook. And so I would love to see the city take a more proactive approach when it comes to our social media. And maybe, we think outside the box and we hire some young interns to come and do some work for the city as far as social media and getting the information out to the public. When I'm out knocking and talking, I will say this again, I'm talking to folks and I am just really educating people on what is going on in Marysville. And, attending city council meetings was vital in all the information gathering that I've had to, run for this position. I've spent 2.5 years going to council meetings and I've learned a wealth of knowledge. So while people can't always, go to city council meetings and they don't have the time, they can certainly get on social media and spend a few seconds swiping and scrolling. And so I think if we just really incorporated this younger generation into the city and use social media as a huge platform for our city, we're going to disseminate information a lot faster and to a lot more folks.
And speaking of social media, you're able to watch Marysville City Council meetings. You're also able to watch Yuba City Council, Sutter County Supervisors, Yuba County Supervisors, and Yuba Water Agency meetings. And we'll take we're going to have the rest of you answer that same question. Go ahead.
Would you like me to answer the question next? Are we out of sequential order? I love it.
It's all right.
So, of course, social media is the way to conduct business these days. And in order to conduct business, you really have to remain positive. No matter what, you must remain positive in order to attract a customer, or to be good looking, in order to get a date, or whatever it is that we use, to keep our spouses happy. I don't know, to make sure the pets are taken care of. So, yes, there's bad news on social media, and you just have to, I have, for the past 4 years as a council person, I have chased those bad comments to a dead end. So you really need to make sure that whatever is happening is accurate, and we do that through social media. I've had a business for 40 years, and every 10 years I get the idea to get interns. Oh my goodness, that's a full-time job in itself. So let's hope that Measure G passes so we can maintain a city staff and then bring in, because I love your idea of interns. I've been begging, but where to put them, who's going to manage them, as we have so much going on in City Hall right now just to maintain and keep the doors open. Interns to help the council go through that was my first desire, was to have a political, what is it called in high school when I was in it? Leadership's, communication skills, which I'm losing at this moment. But you have interns come and go to prepare your paperwork. It's really good for the interns. I was an intern, and yet you need to have a manager to manage those interns. So one day I'm hoping we do that, because that's a really good idea within City Hall to assist. Including, I have 14 committees that I attend also, and those all could use interns or assistants. We just don't have that right now. All right, Margie, your turn.
Thank you. For many years, I've been trying to get Marysville Joint Unified School District to be involved and bring them into the city council meetings to talk to us about what they can do for us. Their leadership classes are just fabulous to do that. As far as social media, yes, social media is where it's at for some, not all. Not everyone is connected to social media. I have friends that are tired of it. I mean, and I think that the city could do a better job with updating their websites as far as community events. I think if people really care about, and instead of just complaining, please come to the city council meetings. You'll learn so much from there. You can, there's public comment period. There's just a lot of resources out there if you're willing to reach out for them. But an updated, on the community development page, an updated list of events that are happening, I think are good. That makes people want to get involved in our
newsletter that was produced by the city manager at one point in time, and that was informative. Is that, just real quickly, is that something that you think you would want to see considered or continued, utilizing different media to do that? Just real quickly, one bang, bang, bang.
I think a newsletter is obsolete at this point. I think that really social media and updating the city's website is crucial, and people go there for information. Some sort of community board, maybe posted throughout the city with city events going on, might be something that passersby could utilize as well.
All right.
Yes, I agree.
Very good.
I agree that we should have something that's more visible. But at this time, all of that costs money. But yeah, a marquee that just scrolled down what was happening that weekend would be fabulous.
All right.
Yes, QR codes, all of that. So the newsletter was written by the previous city manager, Marty Brown, and she worked until midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning to write that newsletter. That was her passion. And of course, newsletters are outdated, even though they can be posted on social media. you need a dedicated full-time person on social media in order to maintain the momentum and keep everyone informed. One day I hope that we actually can have that person. However, we also need a person to write our grants, and we're looking for those people. It's very difficult to find good, consistent assistance and help and give them a good, decent salary so that they really do, want to come to work and improve the sharing of all of the success we're having, and discuss emergencies and failures such as the Right Out hospital closing. That needs to go out right away, and it needs to be informative, etc. Yeah.
Okay. And when you say closing,
by the way,
they were restricting visitors yesterday, and they're doing that for some sort of safety reason, is the assumption that people are making.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the bottom of that. You just be grateful that the safety is our first concern.
So before we leave here, let's start down at the other end of the table. This is something that doesn't happen in many of these types of events like this, and that is, what question would you ask your two competitors for the 2 seats?
Wow, I like this question. What question? Oh my.
Time's up, sorry. Just kidding. Technical difficulty. Huh?
I guess the question I would ask my 2 competitors is, what is it that you bring different to the table, and what is it that you will, I guess, do differently in the next 4 years than what has been currently done?
Okay, let's have Margie answer that.
I guess
Wait.
Well,
Before we do that, your question is I'm the only one who's currently on the council, so really Margie should be asking the same question and not answering.
Well, everybody's going to get a chance
to
do
that.
that.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Answering the question or just asking the question?
They're asking the question, and then the other 2 get to answer it.
Got it.
So Stuart or Marjorie, we'll take Margie and go from there.
Okay. Can you repeat the question?
The question is,
My question would be, what is it that you plan to do in the next 4 years that's different than what's currently been done?
Okay. Well, first of all, I think it's a huge learning curve to get on the commission. I mean, to be a council. Just for instance, the Marysville Hotel, all of that has gone on behind closed session. So I'm not an expert. I would have to come up to speed. But what I think we all can bring something different to the committee. I have a lot of experience with complex financial budgets, so I think that is my strength.
Okay. Stuart?
You nailed it with the learning curve. You really need to get past the learning curve. And the most important thing, and what I'll continue to do, is work very well with my current council and my mayor. And there is, of course, you brought up Hotel Marysville, and we are conducting a tremendous amount of closed session business in order to take care of it, which we're not really able to discuss for a variety of really competent reasons. And we do have success happening because of that. So just maintaining the pressure and the camaraderie with my current council, which is very important. And, whichever one of these 2 lovely ladies win, I'm looking forward to working with both of them as well to inspire, because one council person does not make a scenario. You've got to have 3 to 5, really.
Okay. And I know time is running out for you, so Margie, why don't you ask a question?
My question would be, how long do you think it would take for each and every one of us to be a committee to where we can be strong and vibrant and continue the momentum?
And since Stuart has to leave, let's have him answer that question first.
Ask the question again, because I'll tell you what, while you're asking me the question, I'm listening to these trucks go by in my, in the community, and it's like, wouldn't a bypass be awesome? Right? So, what was your question?
How long will it take for all of us to get together and be one committee?
Tomorrow, today, we can form a committee at any given time, and maintaining the momentum on that committee is really important as well. But there are specific committees that we do choose to be a part of, and we've got to follow through those committees in order to get any results completed. So you pick a subject you want to achieve as a council person, and you get on that committee and you work it to death.
Ask your question of your colleagues here.
Hi, what on earth are you thinking running for city council? I admire you both. Margie, I put on the planning commission 3 years ago because she answered. We were involved in a very sticky situation approving housing, and Margie was not happy about this as it was going to be in her neighborhood. And it was her interaction that inspired me and impressed me, and I placed her on the planning commission when there was an opening. And I haven't really gotten a chance to spend time with Cody. She has been in the council meetings, but I really haven't had any interaction with her. So good luck to both of you.
So the answer,
I hope I answered the
Margie,
question.
what possessed you?
Oh, I have no questions. I really don't.
You asked what we were doing running for council.
Oh, I did. Yeah, that's right. Oh, do you want to answer? Okay. Here, wait.
Well, Margie, we got the camera on you. Go ahead.
Okay. I have been interested in the city council for many years. Asked to run for many years. Was hesitant because I thought the current council had a great momentum going. They got along, they were moving Marysville forward. So I kind of hesitated for 2 years ago to throw my name in the hat. And what am I doing? Because I love this city, and I want to make sure that it prospers and that we can continue the momentum. And it is a lot of work to run for city council, and it's a lot of work to put yourself out there, but I'm up to the challenge.
Okay, and off to Cody Walker. What possessed you?
What possessed me? No. Like I said, I had been attending city council meetings for the last 2.5 years, and it wasn't my time then, and I felt it, and something just jolted me this year, and I feel like I needed to get involved, and I really feel like this younger generation needs to get involved. We're going to be the ones up and coming, and so why not get involved now? I've been privy to, attending city council meetings. I've done that, so I just think a fresh new perspective on the board is what is really needed, and that's why I decided to run.
Stuart, I know you have to go here. Is
Yes.
there a question that we didn't ask that you think is important for folks to know?
Ted, why do you do what you do? Now, I'll tell you what. You reached out to us later on in the campaign season, like
Yep.
a couple of days ago, and our budgets are impossible. Our schedule is impossible to maintain our budgets. We have a lot to do in order to maintain our own financial health and well-being. I've got to run a business on a Saturday. But you know what, Ted?
Yep.
What you provide to our community is so important and incredibly valuable. Ted Langdell provides a service that educates the public if they take the time to watch the endless videos of all of our council meetings, both in Yuba and Sutter County. And I don't think you get very much credit. And I love your whimsical questioning, and your questions are great. And you actually made it on time today. It was awesome.
More or less. We were a few
I
minutes
wanted you to
behind,
know,
but-
look, I wanted to do this, for you. Isn't that
Well,
kind of
thank
me?
you.
And again, we will have another debate coming up, which is Chamber of Commerce and the Appeal Democrat. And it's going to be a lot more formal. They always are. And we won't have all of the street traffic noise and stuff. And this was really fun. But I got to jump out, and you guys have a wonderful time answering the rest of Ted's questions. All right. See you later.
So, Margie and Stuart, thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and I hope you sell some things today.
Marysville. Selling Marysville.
Yes.
Good job.
So, Margie, is there something that we haven't asked that you think is important for folks to know? It can be about anything about Marysville.
That I want people to know about me, or just
In general, Marysville, you, challenges, problems, strengths.
okay. Yeah, I mean, there's challenges in every community. Some of our challenges are held back by state and federal guidelines, and that's something that we must comply with. And like for instance, the homelessness, we have to follow the guidelines. That's a constraint for our city. But I think overall, Marysville is definitely a place where you can have your family, and you can grow, your family members can be close. It's a good community to raise a family in.
Great. So, Cody, what question do you think that we overlooked?
Ted, I think you've hit all the questions. You've started with what is a city, and what does the city council person do? We've talked about Measure G. We've talked about the elephant in the room, the hotel. Talked about roads, a little bit of traffic. I don't know that there isn't a question that you haven't asked. Maybe something along the lines of, what are you currently doing to prepare yourself for this role and to get yourself more up to speed? So that way when you do take office, you can jump right in. Maybe that's the question a question I would pose.
Okay, and how would you answer that question?
Sure. I think that for myself, like I said, I've been attending city council meetings, doing ride-alongs with Marysville Police Department and the fire department to figure out what the city is doing well and then what the city could be doing better. Talking with Public Works and the Economic Development Director, and just getting an idea of what the city is currently doing that maybe I haven't heard about in city council meetings, and then figuring out a plan in my head as to how I would approach this during, when elected to the current council, and saying, hey, how can we make this better? And just providing a different perspective.
All right, so let's get a camera up there. This is really takes a little bit of work to be able to pull this off, and we do make a few mistakes. But Marysville has in its past had quite a few buildings in this area that we're in right now, which is 3rd and D Streets in downtown Marysville, that if you look back at the pictures from even the 40s and 30s, there were a lot of 3-story buildings. There was a lot of square footage available. If you took a look at what's over where the Habitat for Humanity building is right now, you would see a big lot that at one point had a very large building that was owned by the Ellis family way back when. How high, because we're landlocked, or levee locked if you will, but how high should Marysville go? Biggest building in town is the 6-story, I used to call it the Brown building when we moved here, but the Hart building and the hospital. Should Marysville grow up rather than try to grow out? And if so, how high? And I know, Margie, you were a little concerned about the height of the building that is now occupying the old Caltrans sign yard.
I wasn't concerned about the height of it at all. It was more about the property taxes that we were not going to receive in this city. I knew that we had to have it to meet our quota for the state, which we did, and it has worked out perfectly. How high they should be, I would not recommend higher than 6 feet, but that's our 6-story. Excuse me. But that's just by looking out here right now and thinking, well, the hospital must be at least 6 feet, and I don't think it should be any higher than that, since we're so landlocked as it is. It'd just be one big, tall city.
Also, Planning Commissioner, you take a look at all of these plans. We're seeing plans now for the hotel, not the Marysville Hotel Marysville, but the new Hyatt that's going to be built in the B Street property. Should we go higher than that?
Here's the thing, Ted. I don't want Marysville to become a high-rise city. That's not what the design for Marysville. I love the charm that we currently have. All these brick fronts are absolutely beautiful. We do have a lot of open space that we could develop new properties into, and we can redevelop some of these old buildings. I think the Hart Building is a perfect height for the city. I currently attend St. Joseph's Church, have my whole life, and I love the height of that. And I think that the buildings that we currently have are high enough. My biggest thing is not so much height, but facade of the buildings. So when we're bringing in new developments or redeveloping buildings, I certainly don't want to see the charm, like the brick fronts, go away and Marysville become a modern city. I do not want to see that. I love that, we should just really be focused on, height, yes, but facade more than anything. We just don't want the charm to go away from Marysville.
All right. Closing thoughts?
Do you want to
Start with Margie.
Okay. My closing thoughts are, I have been on the Planning Commission for 2.5 years, and it's been wonderful to see the momentum, the plans brought before us, and how we have tried to keep some of the historical, our architects historical, and they must adhere to that, and I think that the city has done a great job of that. I think that the new B Street Hotel is going to be great, even though it's going to be 2 years out before it's completed. It's great that we're going to have a grocery store. There's a lot of momentum going on in this city that we need to continue, and I think that the current council and many of our citizens are engaged and like what the city is planning.
All right. Closing thoughts for you.
Sure. Closing thoughts. I thank you again, Ted. Thank you for hosting this. I think this was a fun event, even though the traffic is here. It's been kind of fun just watching the passersby and kind of wondering what we're doing here. But more than anything, I really think this November, is a crucial time for our whole country, and I think that the current council, like Margie said, and they're doing a good job, but I think that there's some things that could be done better, and I really think a fresh new perspective on the current city council is much needed, and maybe a little female perspective as well, just to mix it up. It's a male dominant board. So just so you're all aware, there are 2 seats open for city council, and there are 3 of us running, as you've seen today. And I just would hope that you all make your decisions. And if more than anything, I just encourage everybody to go out and vote on November 5th. And I hope that you elect me as your city council person.
All right. That is Cody Walker. I'm Ted Langdell, and we're here at the corner of 3rd and D Street in Christmas Tree Park. That's the tree you see going up right there. And we have a small audience of people who have been watching. We hope that we've asked some questions that you would have asked, or have found this a helpful type of a program, and we'll be doing this again coming up next Saturday, probably 9 o'clock, we believe, with the Yuba Water Agency candidates. That would be Charlie Matthews and Randy Fletcher. They're running for the Yuba Water Agency North position, which basically represents the city of Marysville and pretty much everything north into the foothills. And we'll find out more about water. Marysville has been helped by the Yuba Water Agency in terms of some of the things that have been able to help Ellis Lake and try to make it a little cleaner, and to try to deal with keeping Ellis Lake clean. And we're looking at a rainbow over Ellis Lake with the fountain in the middle right now, just so that you know what we're looking at. Ellis Lake being the centerpiece of Marysville, and something that we actually didn't touch on here.
I was just going to say
but
that.
obviously there's a lot of things going on in Marysville, and this is one of the reasons that we came down here to 3rd and D to show what's going on. Also, in Marysville today, it is First Saturday, so the businesses that you see lining D Street is pretty much a downtown kind of a thing, but the other businesses could also participate. There's a lot of different things going on, and so hopefully you'll be able to come downtown and take a look at what's going on. A lot of things happening here, including growth. and momentum. We talk about Marysville momentum. So we thank Stuart Gilchrist, an incumbent city council member who is running for re-election. He's a small business owner and had to go run his business. Margie Rollins, who is a planning commissioner. She's the chair of the planning commission. She's been on for a couple of years. She's also a retired educator and administrator from the Sutter County Schools office. And Cody Walker, planning commissioner with a background in investigation of people to determine whether they are going to be able to have security clearances. All right. We'd also like to thank Skip's Music for the chairs that everybody sat in today. Ellen Culver at the Marysville City Hall for helping to arrange this. And we want to let you know that we have a lot of things going on, including our usual Tuesday meeting. Thanks for joining us on this replay of the Marysville City Council Candidates Connection. There are more events coming up this coming Saturday. Who should be the Yuba Water Agency North Director? Incumbent rice farmer Charlie Matthews or former director as 5th District County Supervisor Randy Fletcher? You can meet and hear from both men running for this open Yuba Water Agency North Directorship October 19th at 9 a.m. We'll be live from Christmas Tree Park in Marysville with Yuba-Sutter.live's Yuba Water Agency North Candidates Connection. Watch. Questions? Send them to candidatequestions@yuba-sutter.live. This public service live stream is presented by Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties and supported by Edible Memories Bakery in Marysville. The Yuba Water Agency North Candidates Connection, Saturday, October 19th, 9 a.m., live from Christmas Tree Park in Marysville. Another special live stream from your local channel, Yuba-Sutter.live. And in addition to joining us for the 9 a.m. Yuba Water Agency's North Director conversation that we'll have as a Candidates Connection, you can join us for the 10:30 a.m. Marysville Unified School Trustees Areas 1 and 2 and the noontime Marysville Unified School Trustees Area 3 and 4 Candidates Connection. That connection brought to you by Nickell Tax and Financial Planning of Marysville. Our program tonight brought to you by and presented by Comfort Keepers of Marysville with support from Edible Memories Bakery.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
Thinking good vibes one day at a time. At Edible Memories, life is sublime. In every bite, you'll find a dream. Join us now, let your heart beam. Step inside, sharing the fun. Edible Memories Bakery, where happiness runs.
Edible Memories Bakery, 321 3rd Street, Marysville. EdibleMemoriesBakery.com.
In the heart of the valley, we rise so bright, where the news flows freely in the morning light. Yuba-Sutter.live, where truth comes alive. Every Tuesday's a journey, it's where we thrive. Watch it unfold. Yuba-Sutter.live, in the heart of our home, be it